Don't let the snow or temperatures fool you.
The coldest weather in 40 years.
It is actually spring here in Alaska, and it is kicking our butt.
I'm gonna do a little bit of emergency trenching.
Over this last week, we have battled flooding issues.
The level is rising and we're getting close to the water actually coming over the driveway.
Freezing issues.
I believe that's gonna be frozen solid.
And worst of all, some big problems with our cabin's foundation.
Now, I'm ripping it all off.
That will make us take a couple steps backward to repair. Join us this week as we continue to battle the weather.
We got a week of rain coming, and I don't want to be out here standing in a monsoon trying to get this done.
The elements.
Got ice right there.
To notch out a living here off-grid in Alaska. This week actually started off pretty quietly. I had a couple big projects I wanted to take care of, so I figured I'd start the day with a hearty breakfast on our new Heco wood cook stove.
Boy. That's my first time cooking with the wood cook stove. It's definitely got a bit of a learning curve. It's a slower heat, but it's a nice low even heat. So when you're cooking with cast iron especially, it gives, I mean, those eggs turned out like perfect. And I didn't even have to baby it. It was like this perfect heat for your egg to get cooked just right. So really cool. I like cooking with this wood cook stove. It's pretty cool.
Last summer, we began working on an addition to our off-grid cabin. A couple weeks ago, we finished up enough of the project to move in and start using it, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Well, it's been a long time since I've worked on our addition. I find with this addition project, actually with all the project on this homestead, necessity is what pushes the projects forward. So when you really need something, you focus on them, you get it done. And then if you don't really need it, something else is much more important, kind of takes its place, and then you come circle back around. So this addition, we really needed the space in this addition, but this, what we're gonna work on in this room, the Arctic entry, we need it, but it wasn't more important than like our new wood cook stove. So that got the attention and the focus. Now we're back to the point where this is a priority. Getting our Arctic entry, which is essentially a mud room, ready as we're entering mud season. It would be so nice to have this up and ready. This wall here is gonna be like when you walk in the Arctic entry, you're gonna have a place to put your shoes, hang your coats, a shelf for gloves and hats. So just all the storage for all our stuff, it's gonna be here. And seeing as it's gonna be, you know, breakup mud season, it'd be really good to be able to keep our boots and stuff in here, keep the mess in here.
So today we wanted to work on a built-in closet, shelf, storage space in our mudroom. But before we could start on that, we needed some room to work. We needed to get rid of some stuff. We wound up clearing a lot of space inside, but we needed somewhere to put it outside.
We are at a serious lack for storage here on this homestead right now. It's been one of the biggest issues we faced since we've got here. just having a place for everything. Right now we're using this trailer as kind of a shed, and it's still pretty tight on space, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup in here, and hopefully we can fit between our Arctic entry and this all the stuff we need to fit.
Too much stuff, not enough storage space is a recipe for a mess, and this trailer was a mess.
Okay.
So we took a little time to clean it out. Up the trailer got us a lot of extra storage space inside the trailer, and that allowed us to clean up our Arctic entry and get more storage in there as well. With things put into storage and some room to work, I can now start building our closet storage area.
Hold it for a second, you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for that. up in the shadows. Okay. All right, I got my wall paneling here. We wanted to put up some wall paneling here. First off, it's just kind of like a decorative, cool looking thing in the cabin, but really it's because this is where we're gonna kick off our shoes. And these kids are really hard, and this is thin sheetrock. So we've already got a couple holes punched in it. So this is here to be like, you know, when they kick their shoes off, it hits the wall. So yeah, this'll protect the wall and keep it easier to clean, the whole thing. So we got the paneling up. Next thing I'm gonna do is put up some shelving, and then we're gonna put up some hooks so you can hang your coat, kick off your shoes. Nice mudroom, nice Arctic entry. There we go. We got our paneling on the wall. We'll have places for shoes down there. We have lots and lots of hooks up here. And we can hang a lot of coats. And up top we got a big shelf for seasonal storage. So we can put gloves and hats and things up there during the summertime. And mosquito nets and all sorts of, you know, summer stuff up there during the winter time. These things are super cool. I was looking for a motion detecting rechargeable LED light that we could use here at the off-grid cabin. And they have a little dock that you stick them in and recharge them. And they have a motion sensor and they have a magnet. So I can just stick this right here. There we go, stick it up there. You come home, it's late at night and all the lights are off in the cabin, and come inside. You walk in, on comes the light, hang your coat up, and then you walk away and the light goes off.
Who's there?
Everybody knows these evil schemes.
You throw it to...
Should probably go. Here.
I was super happy with the results of our quick mudroom storage project. With just a couple pieces of paneling and a lot of hardware that we had lying around in our trailer, we were able to make a really functional storage space. I did have a little bit more work to do on the mudroom, but I had to stop for today. I had another important task that had to be done before it got dark.
So tonight I actually have to leave the homestead. I have to go and I'm getting some propane. We got this hitch carrier so I could carry my propane tanks not inside the vehicle. You're allowed to carry smaller propane tanks up to, I believe it's up to 100 pounds in your vehicle. But I got this hitch so I could take all of my tanks at once. And it was rated for the right weight, but it was a cheaply made thing and it's already breaking. Fortunately, I have a neighbor who is a really good welder. He could weld submarines. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this off later today and bring it to him. Now he lives even further out off grid than I do and the road gets really bad. So I'm gonna take it off of my vehicle and I'm gonna take it on the quad later. But before I do that, I gotta go into town, get some propane because we're running low. And then once this is all done, tomorrow morning I'm gonna get back onto the solar project. So there's a whole lot of things I gotta do. Fortunately, it's daylight still. It's like 6:30, but it's bright. I'm gonna keep getting work done. All right. Okay, for those of you who are new to the whole Alaska thing, there is a season here that most people don't have. They call it Breakup. I never heard about Breakup till I came to Alaska. So everything has frozen so deep and so hard. Now, before you get spring, and I don't know if you even really get spring, you get Breakup. And what that is all that deep thaw, that ice that's gone down deep into the soil, in the roads. It's starting to thaw, but then at night it refreezes, and then it thaws, and then it refreezes, and it melts, and it freezes, and it turns the roads into, well, this, just like slush in the day, mud. Certain sections will be muddy while other sections will be frozen. I've not yet gone through it. I just heard stories. So this is our first Breakup. We have made it through an Alaska summer. We've made it through the Alaska fall, moose season. We've made it through our first Alaska winter. A lot of the haters said it wouldn't happen. We did, here we are. Now, Breakup. Let's see if we make it through Breakup. Before you know it, it'll be summer and we'll be gold panning and catching salmon. And I'm so glad because this was a very hard winter. I'm really glad to see it go and get on to something new, even if it is Breakup.
I got the propane I needed home. There was still light in the day, so it was time to take this little propane tank carrier attachment I had down to my welder neighbor and see what he could do with it. And because the road gets pretty messy out there, I opted to take the ATV. I dropped my stuff off to my neighbors, explained what I needed, and then turned to head home before it was dark. When I got home, Kay had me fire up the wood cook stove. She was going to make one of our favorite meals.
I'll get 300. Okay, I'm gonna move this to a cooler part of the stove so it doesn't get too overcooked.
Okay, the first taste of homemade biscuits in the wood cook stove.
Can I do it now?
These are
I need
perfect.
it soon too.
That biscuit. Light. Oh man, it's like a biscuit commercial. Like Cracker Barrel. That is a perfect biscuit.
This is my neighbor. This is not the first time he's helped me out on a project. He's a great guy and a great welder, which makes him a great neighbor. The changes he made to my little cargo carrier so that it will carry my propane tank safely were nothing short of just awesome. And you'll see the final product in a little bit. While my neighbor was busy fixing this broken contraption, I was beginning to fix a problem at the cabin.
If you've been watching us, if you've been watching our channel for, well, since last year, then you probably watched us putting the skirting on this cabin. And now I'm ripping it all off. We knew we wanted to skirt the cabin because we have plumbing underneath the cabin. And I talked to a ton of people. I poured through YouTube trying to figure out what is the right solution for skirting a cabin that doesn't have a foundation, something that will keep underneath the cabin warm, keep your pipes from freezing, and keep, you know, rodents and stuff out. And I didn't go with one person's idea. I kind of mixed a couple ideas based off what we had available to us here in Alaska and what experience different people had. I followed one system that I found on YouTube, but I had to just put in a couple different parts that got us in trouble. Some areas. They built frames just like this. They put foam underneath it just like that. They were in a cold climate, so it seemed like it was a good fit. All there was one idea that I found. I believe that it works for them, absolutely. But they're not in Alaska. We had the coldest weather in 40 years this winter, so it's just crazy cold. The one thing I did different on this system that was not shown by those videos I was watching on YouTube, they used a different product for the outside of the cabin. And they used like a cement board, a very thin cement board. Hard to find around here. Around here, it was much easier to find this 3/4 plywood, which I should not have done that. And what happened this winter because of that plywood?
Or did it go?
So what happened was this stuff here, this 3/4 inch plywood, somebody left a comment when we released the video of us doing the skirting. And they said, well, you were doing a good job until you put the 3/4 inch plywood on. Have fun dealing with frost heaves and doors not opening all winter long. And when we read that comment, Kay was like, are you worried about this? Do you remember this comment, this conversation?
Yeah.
You were like, are you worried about this?
I was like, it seems credible, like what he's saying that could happen.
And I was like,
no.
I'm not gonna worry about it till something happens. Yeah, and sure enough, the frosties came and grabbed this 3/4 inch plywood. We put foam under these frames, and the foam is supposed to compress if there was a frost heave there. And I've dug underneath those panels. We had like a month of the just record-setting cold temperatures. And I dug under there. This, I pulled foam out from underneath. These were not the problem. This was getting grabbed from the outside and it was getting pushed up. So this 3/4 inch plywood pinched our doors. So that was the biggest mistake I made. And that's where I deviated from what I saw on YouTube. But again, it was because it was hard to find that cement board and somebody suggested I use this. And again, I think it probably worked for them and the way they had it built. I just probably built it different than they did. This was a very bad idea. And it was really, really cold month or so that we had, I think it was like December. We just had like record-setting cold and no snow. Snow adds a lot of insulation value around your cabin. And everybody local who had been in Alaska for any amount of time said to us, listen, this is weird. We've not had a winter like this in forever. Normally you have a lot of snow, which insulates your cabin's like foundation, and it's not this cold. So this wouldn't happen on a typical winter. And I can't tell you how many other people I've talked to that have had cabin heaving issues. People who've been in Alaska their whole life know Alaska had issues with freezing pipes and heaving cabins. So it made me feel a little bit better, but not that much better. It can mess up with your doors and windows. It's just not a good thing. We actually had somebody come and fix it. They brought this, a friend of mine brought this super cool big giant diesel heater, which is exhaustless. The way it works, it doesn't create any dangerous fumes. So they can pump the heat right into the foundation. So I started just kind of walking around the cabin just to, you know, check on things. It's Alaska. We know that frost heaves are a thing that can happen. So I just started walking around the cabin, and when I came around the corner back here, I noticed something was wrong. We checked it out. We had a couple different people look at it. There's no sign of any real structural issues, but if we don't address it right now, there will be. So that's what this is for. That is a flameless heater. That giant thing produces heat without exhaust. So we can run that thing, pumping heat down into the house, and it is directed right at the problem, right where that frost heave is happening. We're thawing it. Fixed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna thaw it, and that should take care of the problem. It's 100 degrees down here. Holy cow. But that fixed it. Since this frost heaves happened, actually I've had carpenters come and take a look at the cabin to make sure there were no structural issues. It wasn't a huge heave and it didn't last a long time and it didn't violently go back or forth. So The structure is still all fine, and the issue is really just want to avoid this for next winter so we don't have this problem.
Ooh, feels like right here's a frosty.
Wow. That right there is frozen solid. That's like solid ice right there. I can feel here where the plywood was sitting, there is frozen, there's like ice underneath it and right up to it. Then we have our foam layer here, which the idea with that is it's supposed to keep it from heaving up underneath, because I've been on the inside and I've dug underneath on the inside and it's soft on the inside of the cabin. The frost didn't continue in, it did stop here. This is part of the problem right here. There's like ice right there. All right there, all like. Oh yeah, there we go, there we go. Wow. Okay. You can do your other shots. The problem is when someone gives you a comment on YouTube and says, hey, you made a huge mistake. You've built it, you filmed the building, you've edited it. So it's already too late. We're gonna do something completely different. What is that? What are we gonna do completely different? So the first thing I'm gonna do different is I'm making this video now and I'm letting the audience, everyone watching know now, we are going to do something different here. If you are an expert in this field, please reach out. I will have a link in the description of this video with a contact form. If you work with, instead of actually doing something here and making a video and then showing it and then having somebody who's an expert say, dude, you made that wrong, reach out to me. Link in the description of this video. Let me know if you're an expert in this field, if you work with, you know, skirting and frost heaves in super cold climates. I would love to pick your brain and, you know, hire you for help with designs or whatever it will take, because I do need to fix this. Since I put this in and had problems, I've had more people say to me, oh, you should have done this. And so there's some other things we're gonna do too that I've got advice from. Another really solid idea that a couple people have mentioned, my dad included, was doing a slip skirting, where you have some skirting coming down and some sticking up and they can slip past each other and move freely along your foundation. So that's an option. Another idea that we've talked about is just abandoning the whole insulated, skirted cabin foundation. Get rid of this skirt so it's not an issue. Open it back up and move our water system to the shop. I talked about in a previous video, I want to build like a homestead shop. We could build that with the water system all inside. We can have the pipes buried down deep and then come back up and protected from the cold, and then just not worry about skirting our cabin. And that way, if there's any frost heaves, it doesn't matter. All right, well, we got to continue down the side, pulling this plywood off the side. Pretty much got to pull the whole thing off. So all that hard work we did in the fall, working those long days, just got to pull it all off.
I removed as much of the plywood as I possibly could. There was still a lot frozen to the ground, but every day this spring it was getting warmer. Every day more and more was thawing. Unfortunately, we caught a bug. We wound up getting sick for a couple days, and that kind of knocked me out of commission. A few days passed, a lot thawed. I was glad to see things warming up and thawing, but with the warming and thawing came a new problem.
Spring rains have arrived to Alaska. The snow is mostly done. and now we're getting rain. And between the thaw and the rain, we have a bit of a problem here. I didn't buy lakefront property in Alaska, but I'm about to have one. All the thawing from this area, all the snow, has put a lot of water into this muskeg, which is right by our driveway. And the level is rising. I've been watching it, and we're getting close in a couple areas to the water actually coming over the driveway. And that's a problem. When the water starts to come over the driveway, if you can picture like a little stream starting to come across, it'll start pulling the dirt and the sediment with it, and then it opens up more and it goes faster and more and faster until you have this big old channel down the middle of your driveway, and then you're stuck. You're on this side of the channel, and you know, society, grocery supplies are on that side. So what I want to do, I want to come out today and I want to find, I have a metal detector. There's a culvert out here somewhere that goes under our driveway, and it doesn't seem to be working right now. So I'm guessing it's maybe frozen. So I'm going to come out here, I'm going to use this metal detector. We're going to find this culvert. I think the pipe is metal, so this should work. I could be wrong. The pipe might actually be plastic. I should have staked this thing. I didn't think about that. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, we might have something right there. Let's take a look. This is called a pinpointer. This will show me exactly where this pipe is. Right there. Oh, I found it. It's right here. All right, cool. And I can see it is definitely like blocked with what looks like some ice. Maybe get it to blow. All right, we're gonna go to the other side here and see if we can find the other side of this pipe, the outlet. Okay. Okay. There is the end of our pipe right there, and that's not good. I believe that's going to be frozen solid. So I'm going to chip away at it a little bit just to see, but I'm pretty sure that's frozen all the way through. And honestly, I don't know what to do about that. We might have to get out here with a pump or something and start relieving this, or I don't know. Something to watch out for. Got the power over me, mama. Okay. All right. That is frozen solid. It's definitely frozen all the way through. So, what can I do? Right now, not a whole lot. I can hope that this rain lets up. I could do you know what? I could start a, what do you call it when the water comes through the hose? Siphon. I could start a siphon. Okay, I do have water flowing. I got a little bit of water flowing, little siphon. We'll see if it can keep up. Otherwise, I'll probably have to get a pump out here and start pumping it until that pipe thaws, which could be a while.
A day went by, the rain continued, and then it let up a little bit, but the problem got worse.
The weather has been very spring-like. Right now the sun is shining, there's blue sky, but this morning it was pouring rain and even sleet, snow kind of for a little bit. We're just getting like the whole spectrum of weather, and there's still lots of thawing going on. I've been watching this driveway for the last couple days and water is starting to creep over the driveway, which can be a problem because once it starts to run over the driveway, it can pick up speed, it can like cut a channel in, and it can form like a big giant canyon across our driveway, and then we're stuck back here. So I don't want that to happen. The big giant pipe that lets water underneath our culvert is still frozen. So today I'm gonna do a little bit of emergency trenching. I have a big old supply of just like long black pipe under here. Just what we need. That might be enough. I don't know. It's a bright sunny day. I'm taking care of this problem today on this beautiful sunny day because we got a week of rain coming and I don't want to be out here standing in a monsoon trying to get this done. Water is showing me that this is the lowest spot in the driveway. Okay, you can see right now, this is why you don't want this to happen without pipe. Look at all the erosion. All kinds of sand is flowing through there, which is okay right now because it's digging my hole for me. But then I'm gonna cap it, let it go only through the pipe. Okay, in just a couple minutes it took me to find a piece of pipe. Look at how much erosion has happened. This channel, it's deeper, it's huge. So we gotta get this pipe connected and pack this back up and be done with this. Okay, well, that will definitely help. It is a temporary solution. We have this pipe going across the driveway. Now, if you're wondering, is my car gonna crack the pipe when it drives over it? No, that's scheduled 40 pipe. I just had a huge truck come in and out of here and drove right over it, no problem. See the tire tracks? Fresh. So, no problems with wrecking this pipe. The driveway, as you can see, it's getting soft here. It was starting to erode a little bit. Hopefully, this is enough to keep up with this. I think it is right now, but we have like 5 days of rain coming, and if we get 5 days of non-stop rain here, this is gonna be a big problem. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. This is a new problem that we weren't anticipating. I have a culvert under this driveway. I have a huge culvert. This whole pond should just go right out over there. And I'm like trying to figure out, how do I melt the culvert? Do I put ice melt in the one end? Do I torch it with like a blowtorch? I mean, there's gotta be some way to get the thing thawed faster. I don't know what it is. Comment below, let me know if you've had experience with this. I'm gonna talk to some neighbors and some friends, some Alaskans who have been through this before. We'll see if we can come up with a solution by next week. Otherwise, the next video might be called, you know, Ost builds an ark or something. I'm gonna see if we're keeping up with this. I'm gonna leave a couple witness stones here. We're gonna come to the water's edge, the water's high mark, right by our pipe here. I'm gonna plant these 2 stones. We'll do 3 stones right in the water. Okay, so this guy, he's just submerged. Actually, I want a little bit not submerged. I want a little bit of little ridge dry
dry. That'll be my witness mark here. We'll see if each one of these stones stays dry, and if they get wet, does this one get wet, and does this one get wet, and then here. That'll be our little gauge.
So all we can do is come back and check on this in an hour or two and tomorrow, and hopefully get it figured out before the rain comes. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. See if we're still here next week. I left the pipe to run overnight. The next morning I had to do a little supply run, and on my way out I checked on the pond. That is a most welcome sound. I hope you can hear it. The sandhill cranes are back. And if that is not the sign of spring and warmth and summer coming, well, it is. That's what the sign is. Here in Alaska, when the sandhill cranes show up, when you hear them flying in, that's letting you know, hey, they're coming north again because it's not so cold. And oh man, I was just sitting at my desk, and all of a sudden I heard it. This is the first time I've heard it this spring. I haven't heard them yet. I jumped up and ran out here to see. There's a big flock too, big flock of sandhill cranes. Oh man, I'm ready for some nice weather. You ready for some nice weather? I am. Good morning. We are going to do like a mini supply run today for some fuels, and I get to test out my brand new rack. I got my rack back from my neighbor, and looks really good. He did a great job with it. A couple things I like about it: it's collapsible, so I can use the back of my vehicle while I'm driving around, open the doors and everything, and then when I get my fuel, it has the up high support that you pop in. I'll show you how it all works. Okay, got my this is my big tank. I'm gonna take my big tank in today, fill it, and then later I can take my two smaller tanks together. So that's kind of my rotation. I take the big tank in, get that filled, then I can bring the two smaller tanks. And the cool thing is this guy here, I can strap them to, but he has a little pin down here. He has a little pin right there that I can pull, and that whole top part comes off, and then I can open my doors. So I could go to town with this thing, fill it, come home, and then without taking the whole thing off, I can just take this top part off and then open up my back doors. And I could also go to town with this thing off and the can in the back of the car empty, use my doors, drive around, and then put everything together once they're filled and drive it home. So it's very, very cool design, easy use. I was super thrilled. Big thanks to my neighbor who built that for me. He was, that was a huge help, so thrilled. Oh, wow. This is crazy. So I'm running out to get some supplies, and I wanted to see what level the lake was at. I just put this pipe in yesterday. Look at what. Remember our rocks? I guess our drain pipe worked pretty good. No, that's not what happened. That would have been, well, that's actually impossible. What happened was my pipe finally thawed, my big pipe here. So sometime yesterday afternoon, evening, this big pipe must have finally broke through
and just this whole lake just is gone this morning. That's so weird. And now it's all over here somewhere, which is okay because that's a lot lower and can take it. And the good news is we have all this capacity now for this giant coming torrential rain that we have coming in a couple days. So that's good. We got some good things and some bad things. I feel like that's spring in Alaska. Honestly, probably most seasons in Alaska. Actually, that's probably just life, right? But this breakup season, what I'm seeing is like some things are going good. We're getting some things are going bad, and we're having new problems. I feel like this is how, like, if you want to do Alaska off-grid, you just got to be ready for the ups and downs. There's gonna be some really big downs, some hard problems, some moments where you're scratching your head and you're saying, I don't know, like that pond, I don't know how I'm gonna get that pond to not destroy my driveway. And then the next day it's gone because everything thawed and the culvert pipe opened up. So like, try to like see problems ahead of time, but also don't overly worry too much because things change quickly. I don't know if that's good advice or not, but that's kind of what I'm rolling with right now.
I went to town, I got some propane, and I got some tools that I needed to finish up our spring cleaning. Because everything was finally thawed enough for us to make this place look nice.
All right, so after weeks and weeks, our spring cleaning is finally actually starting to look like it's clean here. A lot of things have thawed, and we've been able to clean up this really nice. This spring is like one of those 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of springs. We're going forward on some things, we're making some progress, but we're still going backwards on like our skirting. We had this water issue and the flooding, and that was a problem, but now today it's not. So it's like, you know, we're having some bad things happen, we're having some good things happen. It's funny, somebody asked me recently, it seems like you're just running from one problem to the next, fixing one thing after another, building a new thing that you need one after another. You know, are you enjoying this? Are you ever gonna just like enjoy life, relax? And I was thinking about that question a lot because it's true, but I was thinking that's kind of what life is just like going from one problem to the next. Sometimes life gives you certain problems. Sometimes you get to choose your problems. And I think when you come off grid to Alaska, you're choosing a certain set of problems. And if you have the skills, the equipment, the energy to take care of all this stuff, it's actually like, I don't know, it's kind of fun because you have things go wrong and that's like, oh man, but then you fix it and you get this like hit of, you know, dopamine, like look at that, I took care of my problem. So I'm enjoying, this is like choosing challenges I enjoy, all towards a goal of something that I want, versus, you know, you could stick me in a cubicle somewhere and I would have endless problems too, but I'd be really cranky and probably eating way too many snacks. So yeah, all that to say, I think I am enjoying this, but also I'm hoping this summer we have some time to break away from fixing things and improving things and do some fishing and some hiking and enjoying some Alaska outdoors. So once we get through this spring and all these endless problems, it'll be time to enjoy Alaska. You, baby, you're not napping at all. You're not napping. Go sleep.
If you're new around here, you made it to the end of the video, so thank you so much. Why don't you go back and start this adventure where it began? Click here to watch the very first video in this Moving to Alaska Off-Grid series. You can see just how different the cabin was when we first arrived, how far we've come, and how far we still have to go.